Sao Tome and Principe, an island nation of Africa that lies directly on the equator, is very special to God and to me. It is the Phi Rst heavenly nation, a nation where Heavenly Parent prepared the president and the people to receive the holy marriage blessing, and the youth to make the pure love pledge. After conducting these events, I took a little rest on the tiny island nation of the Seychelles. The crashing waves, the refreshing breeze. I walked along the shore of an emerald green sea whose dancing waves smiled and greeted me. The white sand between my toes was soft and warm. I felt truly at peace, enveloped in a cloudless sky, touched by cool rhythmic breezes and warm sunshine. I saw the beauty God created for us in the beginning, intact and untouched. I communed with God, the one who gives this blessing. You freely gave the creation to us, your children, and you hope to dwell with us in joy and peace. You wished for nothing more than to 10. Be the heavenly parent sharing the beauty of creation with your son and daughter. You created them to grow to maturity with your blessing and become true parents of their own children. When they fell away, you and we lost everything. We commonly say that when we lose a child, we bury a piece of our heart. Suddenly losing a beloved child, for whom we would willingly give our own life, brings pain and anguish beyond imagination. Our God, you lost humankind, your family. As you pushed your way through history, you must have been like a traumatized parent who had lost his senses, his entire being in shambles. You were not a God of joy and glory, you were a heartsick parent filled with mourning and sorrow over your lost children. Nonetheless, as Jesus said in the parable of the lost sheep, you could not abandon even the least of your children. As the God of love, you pushed forward to one day find us, embrace us into your bosom, and realize with us the world of peace that you envisioned at the beginning. You want us to know you as our heavenly parent, the one who is the love of Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother. You want us to live as heavenly individuals, heavenly families, heavenly tribes, heavenly peoples, and heavenly nations in a heavenly world. The fallen world lost your ideal of man-woman oneness and worshipped an incomplete image of the Heavenly Father rather than welcoming and attending Heavenly Parent. Men took the dominant position and shaped Western civilization through the Hellenic and Hebraic traditions. Neither men nor women understood the feminine heart of Heavenly Mother and perfect eternal love of Heavenly Parent. Lacking this existential awareness, the feminist movement that erupted in the West could not but degenerate into a one-note movement blaming men for all problems. For this reason, I am investing everything to restore to you your original position as our Heavenly Parent. I travel to the north, south, east and west in order to teach the truth of heaven's providence to 11. Preface. Those who have ears but have not heard, and those who have eyes but have not seen. With a desperate and urgent heart, as if searching for a needle in the midst of a sandstorm while unable to see an inch in front of me, I proclaim the truth of heaven's providence. Like a person who is beside herself with desperation, I embrace the world again and again, loving all your children as my own. With my whole heart I embrace even those among your children who, unaware of the truth, have misunderstood and even persecuted me. As I do, you heal the wounds that they inflict. During the last 40 days of 2019, despite challenges to my health and sometimes physical exhaustion, I continually traversed the earth. I had pledged to complete this path within my lifetime, and I did not break my promise to you. Political and religious leaders lowered their guard, responded, and embraced each other. People began referring to me as the Mother of Peace. Now your true sons and daughters who share my passion are a pure ing. Our skin colors are irrelevant. I have filial children with black skin, yellow skin, and white skin, sons who are Muslim leaders and daughters who lead large Christian churches. I have sons and daughters who lead nations. All of these mother-child ties came about in your name. My children ask me to bless nations and religions. Before them and their peoples, I talk about you, our Heavenly Parent. I talk about Heavenly Mother, hidden behind Heavenly Father, and explain that if there is an only begotten Son, there is an only begotten daughter. Without parents, there can be no harmony in the family. This is because parents are the center and origin of the family. Likewise, without you, the parent of humankind, there can be no true peace in this world. To this cause, I have devoted my life. At its center is Korea, the nation that gave birth to the only begotten Son and the only begotten daughter. 12. You have blessed and chosen the Korean people. This is your doing, of which the world is now becoming aware. Our Pacific civilization must learn from the Atlantic civilization's mistakes. The Atlantic civilization could not realize its own Christian ideals. It degenerated time and time again into conquest and exploitation. In contrast, the Pacific civilization must display a maternal heart. It must grow as an altruistic culture based on true love, as the holy community of Heavenly Parent, setting the standard of living for the sake of others that uplifts all peoples. This is your wish, and I am offering the remainder of my life to realize it fully. I am weaving the golden strands of your love into a story of shared historical suffering. I look back upon my life as an unrelenting mission to attend God as our parent from the position of His only begotten daughter. Not being able to memorialize everything into one volume, I will share more in the future. As I complete this book, one person I dearly miss at this moment is my beloved husband, Father Sun Myung Moon. We spent our lives together to convey and accomplish God's will, and he and I experienced much more together than I can share at this time. In September of 2012, he ascended to heaven. If he were here to witness the public cation of this book, his face would shine with a joy greater than that of anyone else. The sparkle in his eyes is dancing in my heart today. I hope that this book will reveal a taste of our life spent together for God's will. Lastly, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all those who devoted their time and expertise to accomplish this book's publication. Hak Jahan Moon, February 2020, Hyojong Cheonwon, Seorak, Republic of Korea. 13. Chapter 1. My cherished lifelong wish. A woman shouts, man say, for independence. It was the Phi RST day of March 1919, the beginning of spring by the lunar calendar's marking of seasons. The temperature remained below freezing, and the people of Onju, a village in Pyongan province of what is now North Korea, were experiencing biting frost. A woman braved the cold to cook her family's morning meal. She lit the wood fire and set rice on the stove, and then her attention shifted from the morning routine. She lifted her arms and, from the back of a cupboard, carefully took out an item wrapped in a plain cotton cloth. By the light of the fire and a ray of sunshine shining through a crack under the door, the woman untied the cloth to reveal another, larger and more substantial cloth, one with a red and blue yin-yang symbol. 14. On a white background. As she laid it out on the table, the design on the larger cloth came into full view. It was a Korean flag. This emblem of her people was always in this woman's mind, even in her dreams. Feelings of sadness and deep emotion rushed into her heart. Hearing the soft cries of her daughter who was awakening, she rolled up the flag, wrapped it again, and returned it to the back of the cupboard. With their 5-year-old daughter on her lap, this village woman shared breakfast with her husband, who had returned from his early morning work in the fields. She then busied herself cleaning the kitchen, living room, porch, and yard. A little after noon, trying to appear nonchalant, she left the house with an expectant heart, her daughter on her back and the flag in her bosom. A narrow gravel path to the Unju market meandered through her village. It joined a larger road, on which she met others making their way, a farmer leading a cow, a young man carrying a heavy load on an A-frame carrier, a mother with a bundle on her head. Some were walking at a leisurely pace, others quickly, all heading for the market. Arriving at her destination, the woman stopped in front of a vegetable stand centrally located in one of the most crowded areas of the market. Her child awoke from her afternoon nap taken on her Martha's back. Turning her head, the mother quietly looked at her beloved daughter and smiled. To this daughter, her mother's smile was the most beautiful sight in the world. Suddenly, a loud shout burst through the quiet of the market, "Korean independence! Man say!" As if she were a runner hearing the sound of the starting gun, the woman quickly pulled the Korean flag from her bosom. Waving it vigorously, she joined the crowd, shout, "Ing, man say, victory for 10,000 years." With all her strength, she shouted, "Korean independence! Man say!" 15. My cherished lifelong wish. The first shout had been a signal, and all at once, people in the market were taking out Korean flags and vigorously waving them high above their heads. From every corner of the open market, cries of "Korean independence! Man say!" reverberated. This woman's voice was the loudest of all. Shocked by the sudden melee and scores of Korean flags bursting into view, market-goers unprepared for the uprising had to decide what to do. Some fled in fear of possible consequences. Others, the ones who believed in their nation's independence, joined the ranks of the demonstrators. The woman had been eagerly awaiting this day. She had stayed up many nights with her daughter, sewing her nation's flag, her hands shaking. Sitting under a kerosene lamp, she spoke to her daughter about Korea, its people, its faith, its ageless traditions, and the meaning of the Man-say independence movement. Listening to her mother, the little girl nodded her head, taking in everything. Now, clinging to her mother's back, she heard the shouts of Man-say. She felt the innocence and righteousness of her countrymen and women, dressed in white, ready to lay down their lives for the sake of their nation's right to exist. The March 1st independence demonstrations took place not only in Unju, they occurred simultaneously in Seoul and across the nation. At most sites, they included a public reading of the Korean Declaration of Independence. This public outcry was not feudal symbolism, it was an act of peaceful, nonviolent protest, an acclamation